But yes, today we're going to go ahead and kick things off by looking at Onslaught.
Regardez en haut à droite, il y a la version collector de DLC là.
Into the light. For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week, we went ahead and released some key art last week that is now up on screen. You can see here. There's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what Onslaught is?
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new three-player.
Voilà les stagiaires. Comment ça va, Stark?
It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in this key art, like this is like a kind of aspirational view of what Onslaught is in game.
Yeah.
It's a new
Et c'est juste en dessous de la tour de DR là.
Activity. It takes inspiration from a lot of modes we've looked at like in other games and our games.
Yeah.
Throughout our kind of history.
Mais ça, du coup, c'est ce qui va arriver le 9 avril, les gars. Ils parlent de...
I'm really excited that
Dans la lumière, l'event, là.
Like, the Guardians are going to be able to hop into this space and, defend the last city and, eventually take the fight to the Witnesses' forces here. And you can kind of see...
Vraiment, c'est que des nouvelles têtes.
Guardians,
à part le mec à gauche, les trois autres, je les connais pas, les gars. Il n'y a pas de sous-titres, malheureusement, les gars, je peux pas.
In the city itself too, yeah. They are at our doorstep.
There's a few other locations too, but maybe we'll talk about later.
Talk about that later. Yeah. So also too, Jerome, this is not the first time obviously we've ever had to go ahead and defend ourselves on our own turf, but never quite like this before. Our heels are dug in. We're in the last city right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on here?
Absolutely.
Alors, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
For the past several seasons, the forces of the Witness have been closing their vice grip around the Soul system. The Witness is inside the Traveler doing nefarious deeds, enacting the final shape.
Right.
Time is on its side.
Yeah.
We have worked with ancient magics, esoteric rituals, bargaining with our old foes in order to send someone through the portal and establish a bridge, and we chose Crow.
Yeah.
Now, until he makes contact with us, we are back at home sharpening our knives.
Yeah.
Now, the Witness, of course, will do everything that it can to keep us on this side of the portal.
Understandable.
Which means unleashing every bit of its resources, every part of its power against us to keep us pinned in the last city. So this is about breaking out and discovering new power, right? Sharpening ourselves, finalizing our builds, and getting some new toys so that we can face down the Witness.
That's right. And we're also getting some help from a tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shax is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely.
Il y a que la version anglaise. Ouais, j'ai regardé s'il y avait un live en français avec Lightrad. Il y a pas. C'est anglais ou rien, les gars.
For us to enjoy. I think we'll hear about that next week, right?
Oh yeah.
And he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Awesome. As someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, it's always good to spend more time with Shax. Inspirational, to say the least.
Absolutely. High volume.
Yeah, honestly. It's the
Et
best
c'est le
part
Nix.
of him. You just throw more grenades. Oh, reminder to everyone.
Never go wrong.
May it be a hint to us all. And of course, Noah, there's a lot also too going on here. I see turrets, I see other activity defenses. Obviously, we're going to jump into some gameplay here.
Bon, pour l'instant, il parle juste de l'image, là, de ce qui se passe. Bon, les forces de témoins qui veulent nous empêcher de traverser le portail, de pas récupérer des ressources, tout ça. Bon, pour l'instant, on n'a rien appris.
It's not an offensive, it's a defensive. Our goal is to defend the ADU, or Advanced Defense Unit, which allows us to build our defenses like turrets, tripwires, decoys, and the main goal is to make sure that thing stays up for all of your waves that you're fighting in. And if that goes down at any point, regardless if you're on playlist, normal, or
demain les sous-titres, ça, demain.
Your game will end. So the main goal is to keep your defenses safe, build them up, upgrade them,
Et salut Julien.
try to get as far as you can.
Yeah, legend difficulty. Interesting. Already dropping some hints. I like what I'm hearing.
I had to do it. And another thing, just really quickly, we had a lot of learnings from some of our activities in the seasons, like deep dives and the coil, where we know players like when we escalate difficulty over time. That's a key feature of Onslaught. You go from wave 1 to wave 50, each one.
Oh, j'espère que c'est pas vrai parce qu'il a dit de la vague 1 à la vague 50. On va faire une game de zombies, ça va devenir de plus en plus dur.
The waves of enemies that we're fighting against are the whetstone by which we are sharpening ourselves.
Excellent. Yes, build crafters, you're on notice. Be prepared for what's to come.
Bon, de quoi il y aura ce système-là sûrement, les gars, sur l'activité de défense là. La difficulté va augmenter à chaque manche.
Noah, would you mind returning to your throne world briefly to go ahead and kick things off here?
My tithes.
Obviously, yeah.
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Il rage quitte le frangin, les gars.
Really quickly, obviously, with Onslaught being a brand new activity, we're going to kick things off.
On va aller sur Moon.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we go ahead and start things off?
Yeah, you're going to see it in the gameplay here in just a second, but
Par contre, ça me perturbe parce qu'on dirait que c'est... Je les connais... Je les ai jamais vus, les mecs à droite, là. Le mec à gauche, oui, mais... Senior Design Lead. C'est un senior, mais on l'a jamais vu.
So players, start off with you and two other maybe friends you found that you play with all the time, or maybe you make you in with, and you're going to push forwards with Shax's red jacks that you're going to see here. You'll establish a defensive area, you'll deploy the advanced defense unit, and then you'll start placing defenses. As Noah said, there's turrets, there's trip mines, there's decoys. The decoys is our favorite little sweepy bot.
Right, yep.
And
back to help once again.
And you can upgrade those too. Like the way
On va pas augmenter.
you defeat enemies to collect.
Ah mais du coup, on est dans Clash of Clans en fait. Du coup, on va pouvoir donc faire popper des tourelles, des mines, tout ça, et on va pouvoir les améliorer.
And oh, here we go.
Et on est dans Clash of Clans là.
Yes.
So we're over here trying to create a foothold for our ADU.
Oh les gars du gameplay, ça y est enfin.
We know and love them. And as soon as we've cleared out the elixir.
Ça, je rappelle les gars, ça débarque le 9 avril.
ADU's here. As we see, we got some batteries in tow, and this begins our first really interesting part of this activity.
Ah mais on est dans... On dirait c'est centre... On aurait dit centre-ville là. Ici c'est centre-ville. Ils ont pris le... Ah, c'est clairement centre-ville. Ici c'est ça, on est dans Clash of Clans les gars. On est dans Clash of Clans. Là, c'est les Arkix, les tourelles. À tout moment, on pose un aigle artilleur. Par contre, il y a l'autre robot qui fait le ménage.
We're going to have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens.
Okay.
But in the meantime, yeah, chat is connecting some dots to the things they may have seen in the key art. But also, too, so, Jerome, we're here
Ouais, un nouveau revolver. Le revolver, c'est un recyclage par contre. Ouais.
Understand a little bit about the role that plays in the defense that we're mounting against the witness.
Absolutely.
Par contre, moi, je comprends pas trop le délire là d'être dans centre-ville. C'est du recyclage là. Après, bon, on leur pardonne, c'est pas si grave, au pire. Parce que de base, ça, les gars, ça, c'était pas censé avoir si d'un côté ici, mais... C'est un truc qu'ils ont fait à l'arrache sur tout ça. Et du coup, regardez en haut à gauche, là c'est la vague 2. Du coup, ça va pouvoir monter jusqu'à la vague combien?
We will be only maybe looking at whatever happens to show up on the stream today, but yes, this is the brave arsenal as it will be known. Players will get a chance to go ahead and be more intrinsically involved with this. We'll have more information on that in the coming weeks, but yeah, for those out there that are observing maybe some previous Guardian favorite weapons out there, worry not. You'll have lots of information to learn over the next coming weeks.
So yeah, I want to kind of get started.
Et du coup, il y a une banque à charger là.
As we're able to see, like, the ADU has a health.
Et en fait, si t'arrives full, ça augmente, ça change de vague, c'est ça? On va voir.
If you've been paying attention, we have high value targets that are mini bosses or elites.
Ah, il y a du surchargé. Ok, donc là ils ont rempli la caisse. Ouais, du coup, ouais, c'est ça. Et du coup, on est vague 3. Dis-moi qu'on reste pas au même endroit pendant 50 vagues. On sait pas, aucune idée. Le truc c'est que là tu vois centre-ville, vague 3, donc je pense que si, qu'on va rester au même endroit, mais le pont il va peut-être se déplacer sur la zone. Là où il faut charger la banque là. Mais... Ouais, c'est clair qu'ils ont changé un peu la map quand même, là. Ils nous ont sorti un truc bizarre. Et du coup, c'est Shax le PNJ qu'il va falloir aller recheck. C'est pour ça qu'il parlait de Shax. On a gagné de la réputation de Shax là, mais pas du PP. Hein.
The witness is inevitable. There's no way we could defeat every one of the witness's soldiers.
Right.
There's no way we could, you know, fight them one by one.
We'll try.
We have to.
Ah, ils ont quand même bossé un petit peu. Après, ça fait bizarre de voir centre-ville comme ça, modifié. Oh putain. Ils ont activé un piège là, ça y est. Ils ont amélioré le village.
in Onslaught. But Tom, can
Ils
you
sont
tell us a
passés
little bit about
HDV4
the
là.
defenses as well? Like I think we see some trip mines up already, set and ready to go.
Yeah, you can see the horizontal beams. Those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
Trip mines get more charges.
Yep.
And they get more
Ah,
inside.
du coup, il rappelle qu'on va pouvoir améliorer donc les défenses. Hein.
Which is really nice. I'm gonna keep going.
And then we've also got the
Vraiment, c'est Clash of Clans.
turret in a second.
Oh yeah.
Those as well. When you can upgrade those three levels as well, they change color. They deal more damage. They get more health.
3 niveaux.
Fire rate increases actually also.
Yep. And then we've also got Sweepy Bot who do also those decoys mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. But the idea here is like each of these defensive locations, we're going to kind of randomly pick defenses for you to deploy, and it's up to you kind of to make the best choices and use your limited resources, the scrap that you're collecting, to make.
Ok, c'est les scraps donc qu'on récupère. C'est la ressource pour améliorer donc les tourelles et ça. Ok. Bon, les scraps, on les a entre les ennemis.
Yeah, let's focus our attention and abilities maybe in a different direction. Let the trip mines and turrets do some work in a different direction.
Yeah.
Et salut Monty. Faudra pas oublier de transférer son village de COC sur D2.
Occasionally appear in waves, and this one is just to complete the wave within a certain amount of time. And if you complete that while you're defending the AD,
ah oui, il y a un bonus de speed wave. Donc si tu finis la vague dans le temps imparti, t'as quoi? T'as un bonus de points?
Like larger waves of stuff, like that is definitely something you're going to be trying to get. And that kind of ties into the team coordination you can do. Like if you have a good team in the higher difficulties, you're going to need a little bit more coordination. You might need somebody to go out and do the augments and somebody to go out and do the critical objectives.
Yeah, and also too, so just to make sure, Tom, as well, this isn't the only AD you are going to be defending in this activity. It moves around the map.
So, as Noah said earlier, there's 50 waves in our
50! Il y a 50 vagues! 50, c'est officiel, 50. Hein.
Version, which is just one location. It's easy, quick, fun to hop into. You do 10 waves and you're done.
50 vagues.
The challenge version, which we're showing here. So there's 50 waves or 5 sets of 10 waves.
Yes.
Is how we like to talk about it.
5 sets of 10.
And, with each of those sets of waves, we move around the map between 3.
Ok.
So you'll start at 180U, you'll defend it, you'll take the fight to the witness for a little bit.
Il y aura 5 emplacements du coup. On fera 10 vagues sur chaque emplacement. Et il y en aura 5 du coup.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite phases. Where instead of defending the ADU, we take the fight to them. And as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's time to run it down, destroy the witnesses, lieutenants, and, do a fun backflip. Let's hope I can pull that off.
Do the backflip.
It's important. If you don't do the backflip, chat's going to be very upset, I can already tell.
Very.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go. Ooh! You make it look
Et
so
là, ils vont
easy.
retenir sur centre-ville du coup. Ouais, voilà.
He's good. He's doing pretty well. I'm not
Mais ça, du coup, ils ont eu accès à cette zone parce qu'ils ont terminé donc la vague dans le temps bonus là, pour le temps bonus là, le défi bonus là. Et du coup, ça leur a donné des scraps.
There's a 10-wave version called Onslaught Playlist.
Okay.
If you're in for, you want to be in for a short session, I think that's definitely the place for you. Onslaught, in our experience from playtesting, is really easy to lose track of time and just kind of keep going. You can always be like, just one more wave, a few more sets, and then you're like, dang, it's been an hour. Like, it's actually crazy.
Ah bah ça va être long quand même, 50 vagues, ouais, ça va être 1 heure, ouais. Bon, ça dépend après si tu joues avec des potes à toi et tout, et ça peut aller plus vite, mais ça va être long quand même, hein.
As we're seeing, like, when you upgrade defenses, they will exponentially increase in price.
Parce que je rappelle, mais ça va devenir de plus en plus dur en plus, hein. Donc les mecs, ils auront plus de vie, tout ça. Ça va être long, hein.
Or am I just going to bite the bullet and buy something now that can help me immediately? My strategy usually is that in the first few waves, I will not buy anything to like just save up.
Ah, il donne sa stratégie, les gars. Du coup, au début, il achète rien, il garde les points.
You just do that by yourself. I don't think your teammates will be very happy with you.
C'est bon, les gars, il a donné ça, il a donné la strat. Faut faire le rat là, au niveau des points au début. Ouais, il y a un monde où on peut voir les autres zones ou pas là, parce que.
Something I neglected to mention, which we've been doing this whole time, is the ADU batteries will actually heal it, kind of similar to like forges in the Black Armory from my real vets out there.
Par contre, j'ai peur qu'aujourd'hui on n'ait pas de gameplay du prochain DLC. Là, c'est que ce qui va arriver le 9 avril.
But also, if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to keep as healthy as possible because you might be able to snowball your defenses.
Interesting. So especially if you're really pushing for those later levels in like the 40s and 50s, maybe it just behooves you to hold on. For the levels or so, let your abilities and weapons do the talking for a little bit.
50s are no joke. Oh my god!
There we go, we got one of the bigger mobs on.
Vas-y, démarre-le. Un canon tracteur, il faut un canon tracteur. Là, tu vas avec un titan fil obscur, tu démontes le truc là.
Yeah.
Since we're on the first wave, they're not that difficult, but I promise you, wave 40, wave 50, these guys are tanky. They require a lot of
Bon, on va aider qu'à partir des manches 40, les mecs vont être gavés tanky. Ça va être la galère pour les tuer.
I'm just that guy.
Là, tout c'est qu'on est que vague 9, c'est normal. Les mobs ils font 0 dégâts.
I'm not treading new ground here. I'm a Night Stalker by heart. I got my Gerfalcons on. We actually, off screen, we're figuring out how it's pronounced. But Gerfalcons, everyone, so anyone who mispronounces it, that's how you say it. Doing that, I love Buried Bloodline. It's a great weapon from Warlord's Ruin. I love the Catalyst. And, I'm just doing that because
non, ouais, ça sert à rien ton arme, frérot, y a mieux. Je vais lui faire un petit build là au frérot là, vous savez. Déjà tu vas passer titan fil obscur. Donc là ils ont encore, c'est quoi là?
I'm a big fan of Graviton Lance, we get along very well, but I gotta say the precision that you've been getting out of Buried Bloodline makes me upset that I haven't just gone ahead and buckled down and gotten the farming done to get that thing on.
Là c'est pour changer de zone ou c'est encore le truc bonus là? J'ai pas vu, on était manche combien? Wave 10. Ah c'est un boss, non là c'est pour passer donc dans la zone suivante là. Ok. Ok.
Increase your effectiveness against the boss. So for example, this one is augmentation well. If you stand in these wells and defeat high value targets, you will actually deal increased damage to the boss for the rest of the
fight. On aura donc des zones. On a donc apparemment on a plus de vie et on fait plus de dégâts au boss si on reste dans la zone. D'après ce que j'ai compris.
Also, too, actually, really quickly, Tom. So I know we touched on there being 10 and 50 wave versions.
Voilà.
We got a question in chat from Tirkinator. Is it random matchmaking? Do you get to bring your own fire team in? Both?
Ah, il parle du matchmaking.
Random matchmaking, or you can bring your fire team in.
Yeah.
And then
ok, il y aura un matchmaking.
The challenge modes, of which there is a normal version and like a hard version, which goes up to GM. I believe that the normal version is match-made.
Ok, il y aura une version maîtrise de ce truc là. Le mec il sait même pas, le frérot il sait même pas. Il sait pas.
No, we definitely want you to communicate in that activity on the upper end. Especially, you're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, honestly. Also, too, actually, while we're kind of on that subject, I remember something you mentioned
earlier
was, kind of one of the goals, I think, from a design standpoint, you were mentioning was that it's kind of just easy to get lost.
En fait, tous les dimanches, en fait, on va pas dans une autre map, on change juste de zone sur la map. Bon. Et du coup, pour la version normale, il y aura un matchmaking. Par contre, pour la version maîtrise, apparemment, il n'y a pas de matchmaking.
Defensive location you can see here, that's near the river walk in here, and
ah donc là c'est la ruche par contre.
We're developers, so we were able to change it to our other faction. It's not always going to be Fallen. We have the hive that were shown prominently in our poster art.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for the more keen eyes at home, they may have noticed that behind the scenes, the faction has changed. So when Jerome mentioned it earlier, every single one of the armies at the witness's behest is going to go ahead and be a part of this fight potentially. Or which ones are they, rather? Or if you don't mind me asking, I should say.
Ça m'a tué. Le mec, il lui a demandé dans la version maîtrise, il y a un matchmaking ou pas. Le mec, il a sorti. Je sais plus, mais je crois pas. Je suis mort. En vrai, ça m'a tué.
They're being marshaled for other purposes, which I won't.
Other elements of the seasonal story are yet to be revealed. We'll let that obviously uncover itself.
C'est un nouveau, c'est un gamer nouveau, c'est un ancien. Il me semble que c'est le rework d'un ancien. Il me semble que c'est celui comme disait
us realize what the
C'est
witness
celui de
mission
Calus,
is.
là.
Like, what was kind of some of your inspiration as you kind of looked at this activity and the opportunity
premier
to
raid, là.
present it to the narrative team?
We always start with the characters, like the emotions of the characters, what, from their perspective, how they would see things.
C'est une ancienne arme, c'est pas une nouvelle, hein, en tout cas, si jamais vous posez la question. C'est un ancien.
Focused activity. It's so ferocious. We needed a voice that
Le coup de
matched
minuit,
that
exactement,
level of
merci.
intensity.
J'avais plus le nom.
And so that's where we came up with Shax.
Yeah, Shax is like the perfect hype man
Honestly.
for this, right?
It's so great when you get later in the rounds and he just kind of makes you feel like you can keep going.
J'ai cru qu'ils allaient dire qu'il allait popper au bout d'un moment, Shax, mais pas du tout.
He's there bringing folks in every single day that he possibly can. So
He's been preparing us for this. That's what the Crucible is for.
No, and that's a great way to look at this. The Crucible is preparing, fighting other Guardians to sharpen ourselves to fight a war. And this is just fighting a war.
Yeah, honestly, this is what we've been sharpening ourselves for.
Oh, ils vont pas se louper au niveau des perks, ça m'étonnerait.
We got a question from Cozy
Après, est-ce qu'on va le jouer
weapons that are coming back? As a quick reminder, this is the first of actually three streams as well. So next week we're going to be talking about that. So make sure and mark your calendar and tune in then. Today, this is just a taste of Onslaught and kind of a first look at what's to come in the brand new activity. Joining us with.
Ok, donc là il valide, c'est. On n'aura pas de visuel du prochain DLC. Là, c'est vraiment que ce qui va arriver le 9.
Performing pretty well,
Avril.
actually. I'm a person, I prefer to upgrade a few things because their effectiveness
Vas-y, il donne sa strat, il donne sa strat.
much more heightened when you upgrade it. So I feel like if you all pool your resources to make a few traps really good, that might serve you well, but who knows? I know when you do Legendary and you're in GM, you're really going to need those defenses to help you out because those enemies are powerful and they are focusing down your ADU unrelentingly.
Yeah. All right, so we've touched on there are
Ils sont déjà avec 14, ça monte vite quand même.
Between the turrets, the trip mines, and obviously the decoy sweet bot. And those are upgradable, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Correct.
Cool. How far do those go up? Like what level? Could it be 3? Awesome.
Bon, ça il a déjà dit, donc on va pouvoir monter les tourelles et tout au niveau 3. Bon, ça on le savait déjà du coup.
They become more expensive, but yeah, they also it's not like a linear progression. It's more logarithmic. They kind of jump up in power.
Yeah.
But you got to keep them safe too, right? The enemies, like you might get an augmentation where like one of those big knights or big fallen captains comes in and just smashes them.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to try to keep the space clear.
Yeah. A brig drops in from low orbit and
That
just smashes it into bits.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen. Who knows?
Now, in that instance, if one of your
Il est trop concentré le mec en haut, les gars. Regardez comment il est concentré. On dirait moi en Osiris.
Oh wow.
Le mec il parle
That's one of
up.
the things you have to watch out for with trip mines. Like I said, they have charges, and they will just, they will go out on their own. But that's why they're so cheap. You're going to have to rebuy them once you run out of charges.
Yeah, and also I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is scrap individual or is it fire team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the fire team earns scrap together, but you each get to spend individually.
Oh.
So you can't mess up your fire team mates by like overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet.
Yeah.
D'accord, c'est.
So you can coordinate if you want, or you could just spend how you see fit to help the team.
Yeah.
In general, like anything you purchase is going to help.
Yeah, as someone too, like in the past, I've played, personally, like a lot of wave-based defense games. There we go. When it comes to the upgrades, I imagine, like you were saying, it's pretty logarithmic. Is there a feeling of wanting to, instead of getting, 3 level 1 turrets, get 1 level 3 turret, for example? Like, is that power gain kind of the one you want to be chasing if you're pushing those higher levels?
I think it's definitely valuable to do that as long as you can keep it safe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be better to spread out the
that's true.
the damage, but like
Il est en train de se chier dessus le mec. Ouais, c'est le mec en haut à droite qui joue là.
You're not going to be able to control that. You're just going to have.
Il est concentré de ouf les gars.
This might be an easy way of just some thrall, but it could be a bunch of exploder
Il se dit,
tanks too.
attendez, là je suis regardé, là faut pas que je loupe mes balles.
A bunch of exploder shanks into a wave. Who on earth would
En vrai, il a la pression hein.
You can blame Noah. You can blame me for drop pods. You can blame Noah.
I've done a lot.
Everyone who spoke to their therapist about Cabal drop
coil,
pods, you can go ahead and charge that directly to Tom. You can follow him on Twitter right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Noah, Jerome, out of curiosity too, when it comes to kind of the seasonal story and where this fits in. So again, we're digging our heels in, fighting against the witness, just sharpening ourselves. The next step pretty much is just to go ahead and hold out for as long as we can in preparation for that next battle, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. We're waiting for Crow to essentially build a bridge in concert with Mara, with help from Osiris and others. And so it's really, the universe is on Crow's shoulders.
Yeah.
And we couldn't imagine anyone better suited for the task.
Yeah.
Crow has come a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves an opportunity to show what he can do.
Yeah.
And I think he'll come through for us.
Still has uttered one of my favorite lines. Yeah, we went ahead and chased him into the astral plane. Well, I just shot at him until he ran away, but your way's better. Like, he's earned his spot.
C'est
He's
ça,
ready to
ouais.
go, obviously. All right, Noah, where are we at? What are we looking at right now?
So right now we're looking at one of our waves.
Oh, ça sera pour la semaine prochaine, on aura des visuels du prochain DLC, les gars. Là, vraiment, c'est... Ils vont parler que de ça aujourd'hui.
Composition. So this is a wave full of exclusively ogres and Cursed Thrall. Cursed Thrall are nice because it allows you to chunk the ogres if they're grouped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're Cursed Thralls, and as we see, they are just booking it straight toward the ADU.
These ogres seem very dedicated to their task out of the gate, honestly. It seems like within a millisecond, they're just lighting up anything they can possibly see.
Yeah, I think they're really dedicated to the witness, and I think they're also kind of stupid. So they're just doing what they know.
I'm not brave enough to say that to an ogre's face, but I respect you for being able to do so.
So we're seeing another bonus objective here, actually, which is there are going to be pyramid splinters that spawn. That's a great. Now, where are they?
I think there's one up behind you, Noah.
Oh, right here. Look at that. And then if you keep following it.
Non, vas-y, faut pas louper là, faut pas louper là.
Kind of leads you away from the space, and can't find my business there.
Voilà.
We're able to get
avoir le bonus.
We're able to get heavy ammo, which I desperately needed because my berry bloodline.
Ok, du coup ça leur donnait un petit pack de lourdes là.
So there's tension, right? When those splinters lead you away from the ADU.
Ça il faut le faire ça les gars, il faut le faire les trucs bonus là.
Two directions.
Yeah, that's something that we were really wanting to index on. So for these critical, not critical objectives, for these augments, they
Et vague 19 hein. Ah bon, vague 19 ça a l'air quand même assez tranquille. Après là ce qu'il fait c'est la version normale. Après la version maîtrise, bon peut-être ce sera plus dur la vague 19 mais...
You have less people defending, like the wave is still coming towards you, but there's things you have to do, and those distractions, which aren't really optional, are kind of what gives you that tension and kind of allows for interesting build crafting decisions. Like, that's something I kind of wanted to go into, something that excites me as somebody who's kind of seen how our seasonal meta kind of develops with things like Strand Titan and Solar over and over.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if interesting things come out of like Onslaught. You're not trying to stay alive yourself, you're trying to keep this ADU alive.
Non mais là le Titan Strand ça va être n'importe quoi. Hein. Franchement là tu vas avec 3 Titans Strand ou 2 Titans Strand et un arc à solaire là et... C'est fini hein. Tu roules sur le truc hein. Ah, le frangin il est mort, on a perdu Winter Moon. Ah, il est tombé dans le vide les gars. Triple arcastase. Là tu veux congeler toute la map. Il salue au Birama. Alors t'as pas loupé énormément de choses mais... Il nous présente l'activité là qui va arriver le 9 avril. Oh, c'est la vigie du Seigneur celle-là par contre. Elle a bien mangé à la cantine hein. Eh ben... Elle est grosse la vigile. Bon c'est celle de l'assaut sur D1 là. Ils ont juste fait un CTRL-C, CTRL-V. C'est un vigile.
So we just did an augment just now that had capture points spawn in the arena. Oh, we have one right here. And what that does is that calls in turrets that will eventually come and help us out. If we call both of them, they'll all activate and that serves.
Ok, si on reste dans la zone, on invoque des tourelles qui vont nous aider à tuer la super vigie. Et ça sera des tourelles niveau 3. Aïe, aïe. Voilà.
For them, but they cost 6,000 scraps, so you're going to need to save up a lot.
Okay.
I think it's 12,000 scrap altogether for like going from level 1.
Can you just roll that leftover Shrieker Eye into some enemies, maybe just for the? Oh, it fell off.
Where'd it go?
All right.
T'aimes pas criminel?
No.
The void call.
Oh, il y a un petit coffre là. Ouvre le coffre. Ouvre le coffre.
What level are we on now?
Faut ouvrir le coffre là.
Was that 20? Okay, cool. Awesome.
Ouais, c'était la vague 20 là, c'était fin de la vague 20.
Yeah, I will say, especially after yesterday, we learned that Noah is one of the most dangerous.
Il va pas ouvrir le coffre.
Out there, to all the PvP streamers as well. Go ahead and challenge him openly on the internet.
Hey, I go flawless, you know, check my KD.
Yeah.
Check my KD.
You were the gilded one.
I don't want to brag, but as a 4 times gilded flawless, I mean, I'll let you guys brag for that.
Wow.
Hey, I'm gonna brag too. I got Riven's Bane back in Forsaken. Petrol's run, that was tough. You know, all my Riven's Banes out there, we know what's up. And Shadows.
Yeah.
Y'all got it.
There's a chapter of everyone's dream journal dedicated to that particular time in their lives, obviously.
Ouvre le coffre. Vas-y, mais non, mais il a pas pris le loot. Il a pas pris le loot. Il a pas pris, il a fait exprès. Il a fait exprès. C'est un bâtard. Le pire, c'est qu'il a. Il allait sur le coffre, t'avais le truc collecter le loot. Il a fait non. J'ai pas besoin. J'ai pas besoin. Ah vas-y. Prends des tourelles, prends-en.
Building up your defenses over time. You obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on, but they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves. Like we see, hey.
Ah désolé si je loupe quelques messages les gars, mais je suis hypé là. Moi je regarde le live là.
That feeling of feeling like you're the vanguard and.
Ah mais là le coup du coffre là, c'est un bâtard quand même hein, ce qu'il nous a fait là.
You're really digging the trenches and setting yourself in. Okay, again, we'll put that on the list of things that chat didn't see. We get a veto. That's the one that everyone gets to forget. Sorry, chat, but that didn't just happen.
Everyone makes mistakes, man.
Also, too, actually, J.R. Bizzle in chat asks, are the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get too? Now, I know Noah kind of mentioned this a little bit when he was referencing the coil earlier, but you know, obviously, there's between the level 10, or pardon me, the 10 wave and the 50 wave versions. You know, what's the reward story for each one?
So in all the activities, every
Ah, pas de
time you
récompense.
beat 10 waves and you beat the boss, you'll get a chest.
Okay.
Ok.
Every 10 waves.
Yep.
You get,
Ok, toutes les 10 vagues, on aura un coffre.
The challenge mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal version, you get a normal chest all the way until the last wave. You can beat the final wave.
Yeah.
You'll get double rewards.
Ok, en fonction de la difficulté, vous avez des meilleures récompenses.
You get additional rewards in all the waves.
Ok, on aura des récompenses additionnelles, donc bon, il faut le faire en maîtrise le truc les gars.
You might have along the way at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Excellent. Yeah, for the ones that are really going to go ahead and try it a few times out, maybe there's an additional variable thrown in there from time to time. Excellent. Yeah. Also, too, actually, Kurt Jones, 29, asks, how do revives work in this activity, both between normal and legend?
So that's actually a great question. As we see now, there is not. Oh my good lord.
Oh merde. J'ai kiffé là. Il allait expliquer, il a vu le gros lézard avec popé, il a fait attendez. Incroyable.
Darkness is off. But when we set, we turn darkness on. So if you all go down,
Je l'aime bien le mec en haut à droite là, il me fait rire. Je l'aime bien.
That's it. Okay. So you just take the rewards you got for the 2
And in Legend, that's on by default.
yeah, you don't lose any rewards. Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
Ouais, 2 secondes.
If you're set and you fail,
Yeah. That's it. Just take your lunchbox and go home.
yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist. Or hop right back in with your friends and try again.
Which is what I'm gonna do for the game. Honestly,
Le tourmenteur, il est arrivé au pire moment les gars.
And so we were kind of getting a sense of what Into the Light was gonna be. I gotta tell you, like just the I don't know, the ability to just go ahead and keep diving back in.
Ouais, mais là, normal, du coup, j'ai l'impression qu'il y a res illimité. Et bon, en maîtrise, il y aura sûrement un nombre limité.
This is the exact right time to go ahead and just continue diving in and just, you know, bolstering those loadouts to begin with the Brave Arsenal, which again, we'll be talking about next week, don't you worry. But also, too, is just get a chance to go ahead and really see how they can thrive in environments just outside of, you know, even as difficult as GMs can be. Find something that really pushes it beyond that standard level that we're used to.
Yeah, and you're going to need to be ready for a lot. We're trying to
Et salut Baka. C'est un
un
peu en mode zombie, ouais, mais avec un peu de Clash of Clans. Tu vas pouvoir poser des tourelles, des pièges.
And there's like the progression of the waves, there's augments, all these things are kind of working together in concert to like test your ability to coordinate as a team and in your build game too.
Excellent.
Ah, ça m'a tué là, le coup du tourmenteur là, les gars, ça m'a terminé.
In chat, wonderful name, I might add. Is also curious. I know we just talked about scrap gathering, obviously, and how everyone kind of gets their own purse. Are you able to gift that scrap to other people? Or you just get your own.
Est-ce qu'on peut donner donc nos mid?
The scrap, but you can both. Like if someone places something else, you could upgrade it.
Okay,
you can coordinate.
Got it.
Ah, vous pouvez vous mettre à plusieurs pour augmenter un truc. Genre, vous pouvez y aller à 2 pour augmenter la même tourelle.
wanted to keep it simple and fast. Like we didn't want to have like
Ok.
we did a lot of work to make sure it was as
Par
streamlined.
contre, on peut pas se les donner, genre, mais
Careful about it.
In the heat
on
of
peut
battle,
investir
yeah, it's like,
ensemble pour
sweet
améliorer un
spot,
truc.
yeah.
Open their wallet and be like, you got a 5?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you break 3,000 scrap? Is that?
I'm getting shot here.
That's right. Just a little bit.
Et
It's
salut
okay.
Midi, et salut
They'll
Alex.
still help you out with that. Let's see.
We're getting up there in the waves, and they're getting a little bit more beefy.
Yeah, you guys are murdering your way through. This is going great.
Another thing I really appreciate about Onslaught, other than like the fact you can get lost in it, is like this is just going to be a great place to go.
Yeah.
And just like if you want to do bounties, if you want to do triumphs, you've got.
Et du coup, il y aura que centre-ville ou il y aura d'autres zones? Ça, on sait pas encore, mais
Yeah.
You'll be able to really like you know.
je crois qu'il y aura que centre-ville, les gars, par contre. Hein?
Hear that, everyone? You can leave the opening gates of Grasp of Avarice, finally.
or
dive on into
Shirochi, you don't
Onslaught
have
with
to
the rest
farm
of
there
us.
anymore. Don't have to input that wish.
Yeah, and some waves are really like hard, and other waves like.
Vague 25 là. Ils sont à la moitié là.
Yeah.
Unload your supers, unload your.
Il arrive quand ce mode? Le 9 avril.
Have that peak power fantasy.
Yeah.
Et celui
It's
RS.
also to, no, you're getting some cred in chat for your ability to dispatch champions. I don't know why people are asking about a Bungie dev fighting champion mobs. I don't know if that's a reference to something, but you'll have to remind us in chat. I don't know if I recall that moment necessarily.
Oh, I know what they're talking about. I'm telling you, I'm that guy. I'll drop the Bungie app. I don't care, man.
I don't
Check me
care.
out.
I believe you.
I envy that level of confidence.
Yeah,
I'd be dead.
I hide in the background. I have my name in game is just Andy, and I hide amongst a field of other Andys with all of our little hash numbers at the end of our name. Honestly, though, if you see the one with the dead man's tail, you know that's me for certain.
Great weapon. One of my favorites, honestly.
It's so good.
It's so stylish.
It's just.
Ah,
like my
j'espère
favorite
qu'il y
gun
aura
in any
d'autres
video game
zones parce que
ever,
bon, que
It's
centre-ville.
really good. Though then again, we get along pretty darn well. Okay, so we're back on the pyramid ship. Drum,
Yes,
also
every 6 waves, actually, you're going to...
6. Thank you.
Well, on the 6th wave of each thing, so 6, 16, 26, 36, you know, etc.
Okay.
You will take the fight to the witness and have a cool little encounter that's, you know, it feels like an action movie. You and your team get to run down against waves of combatants, you know, in this hallway, and then there's an invincible warden at the end, and the only way to dispatch him and move on is you have to dunk in the wrist.
Palette cleanse.
Oh, and he pushed me.
Little breather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ok, donc là, ce qu'il fait, les gars, c'est toutes les 6 manches. En fait, c'est 6, 16, 26, 36, 46. Vous avez ça. Et ça vous donne des scraps. Moi, je sais pas comment appeler les scraps en français, les gars. Je vais peut-être appeler ça les médaillons ou autre, je sais pas trop.
And now it's sort of permeable. It can go both ways, right? The witnesses' forces are much more able to access our space, as we can see right there in the middle of Midtown. But we are also able to access their space more.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak.
They opened that door. Now they can't take
That's
it back.
right,
The
yeah.
Guardians are going to be in there emoting and meddling and having a grand old time. See? There we go. Let's go ahead and flex your raid emotes. It's all right. Let's get it out of the way.
C'est trop facile pour lui, c'est trop facile là. C'est trop facile. Et salut Reality, comment ça va?
Took the wave 27 now. All right.
Ouf, oh, ça commence à taper, hein.
Starting to get spicy.
Aïe aïe aïe, et oui, ça commence à être épicé là.
Let's lock in, guys.
Aïe aïe aïe. Attention,
Sorry,
hein.
we're just making it more theatrical.
Yeah, we totally are.
Il faut poser plus de tourelles là.
It's super easy.
I just know I'm going to turn a corner and there's going to be the cursed thrall, like, right there. You see it.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh non, oh non.
I got,
C'est son cheat, les gars, c'est son
All
cheat.
tab.
all tapped? Okay, all right.
technical
I was about to say,
difficulties
oh, I got all tabbed again.
I was like, as
That
it turns
builder
out,
seeing
yep,
behind the
everyone.
screen,
Yep. Also,
seeing
too,
we
just
go.
for everyone's awareness too, we're here live in the dev environment. So what you're seeing is obviously a quick peek behind the scenes. But yeah, we're obviously working off of a dev build right now
Nice.
and doing the finisher appropriately on the thralls.
My favorite is the like quick draw gunslinger one.
Yeah.
Et salut
I
Serrano.
actually just bought it. I was like, I need it.
The
Comment ça
solo
va?
one that kind of does like
Yeah.
the twirl around his finger. Oh yeah.
I was like, I need that, so I'll give up anything.
I got it. I think it was it Guardian Games last year where you got the chair to go ahead and just send them flying at 1,000 miles an hour.
It's hard to beat the
never
chair.
gets old. Yeah, absolutely never gets old.
It looks like Ashton Kleiner just.
Du coup, on va vraiment voir. Oh, ils vont nous montrer les 50 manches, je crois. Hein,
I mean, they've been doing this for
Yeah.
months. I mean, they don't really have the technically the world's first, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's right. Yeah.
no, it really that's gonna be for players, right? We want
Yeah.
all of you to be able to hop in this again. Yeah, this is available for all players.
Yeah.
Which is also really exciting. It's kind of like a.
Ah, c'est gratuit pour tout le monde cette activité au passage, les gars.
Out there, all of our guardians, our community.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you. We're excited to be able to get you all buffed to take on the witness.
Yeah, honestly. It's, it's not going to be easy, obviously. Just another opportunity to equip everyone, obviously.
Something I wanted to mention, just to like get a little peek behind the curtain when it comes to our friend Sweeperbot here, is he used to be the best decoy in the game, like better than all his other tiered variants, because there was a bug where only the broom would take any damage. And as we see, he's really skinny, so he was like basically nigh untouchable.
Functionally immortal Sweeperbot.
Oh my god.
Must be nice, obviously, just to have your Horcrux or whatever it is, right? But it's just his broom this time, as it would turn out.
Oh, il a 2 HP, le truc.
It'll live on, again, another thing that lives on strictly in our hearts.
Yes.
Also, too, out of curiosity, Vadar
Je te le montrerai après,
in chat asks, will there be, like, if you have just 2 people on your fire team and you want to go in solo, is there a private mode you can dive into this with?
Ok, ils sont à la vague 30, donc là, ils vont affronter un boss.
Very cool.
Attends, normalement, oui, c'est ça.
Really challenge themselves. Maybe attempt to solo all 50 waves? Yeah. I think the theory is, our running theory is that it's impossible.
I think it's not possible. That's my charge to the community. Can you beat Legend solo by your, like, obviously that's what solo means, but can you beat Legend solo?
Someone's got to do it.
If my teammate on the social media team, Mitch, is out there watching while on vacation, so don't you dare be working, I think he's
apparemment, solo, la version maîtrise, les gars, jusqu'à la manche 50, apparemment c'est chaud, mais...
Especially like in Mission Whetstone, I thought it would take a lot longer for people to do that. That was quick.
Et celui El Mafioso. Mais ce jeu il est incroyable, le Destiny 2 les gars, c'est... Ça a ses défauts, mais ça reste un jeu incroyable.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to see like what strategies people come up with. As we see, we have another augment here where you are killing spark hoarders to spawn a spark, and when you dunk the rift, it actually does a chunk of damage to the boss, which if you're looking at the health bar at the bottom, you'll see it does a decent amount. So when you get to bosses that are a little chunkier, these are ways to do extra damage to them.
Oh, ok.
Not too shabby.
Donc là, pour ceux qui n'ont pas trop suivi, c'est on peut récupérer une ressource là dans la zone là et aller la dunker au milieu là. Et ça enlève de la vie au boss là. Ça enlève pas mal de vie. Hein. Après, est-ce que ça irait pas plus vite d'y aller avec un titan, un coup de canon tracteur, fil obscur et terminé? Je pense que ça irait plus vite. Hein. Ésotérique va le faire en mode facile là. C'est clair.
I'm just gonna keep shooting you right in the face. This is not how this works for you.
Okay.
Oh no, no!
All right, we're out of stream veto moments, obviously. No, I'm sorry, but this shame you have to live with.
That didn't happen.
Are you sure you want to hand out your Bungie ID still?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, all right.
I don't back down.
I'll leave it to you on Twitter. That's fine.
Ça arrive à tout le monde, ça arrive même aux meilleurs, c'est pas grave.
Again, at our own peril, we underestimate. So is this the final boss encounter in the pyramid for this particular wave?
Yes, for this particular wave. I think we're on wave 30.
Yes.
Which means we're on our last wave, which is take the fight to the boss again.
So it's definitely a little bit beefier than the last 2 bosses.
Yeah.
But we're going to dunk and kill it in one shot.
Here we go.
There we go.
So and also too is that
je sais pas ce qu'il joue là.
Dunking mechanic that does extra damage to the boss. That's just is that like a modifier that kind of gets
là il a eu un petit loot.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Donc il a eu un jury pendu mais version un peu bizarre. Tu vas ouvrir le coffre cette fois-ci.
Guys, let's do the Evo.
Ouvre le coffre. Ouvre le coffre. Ouvre le coffre. Ouvre le coffre. Non. Non.
Actually, I saw a question pop up in chat. Again, I apologize. I missed the
name. Is
moving fast, but thank you to all you Guardians for joining us.
Ouais,
is there any kind of a timer present in this activity, or do you just get to dive in and take your time?
The only timer is actually present in the purchase phase. We want to kind of keep that fast-paced flow going.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we just have the timer ticking up to see how long your session has been. But yeah, there's no timer. We're not counting down like 10 minutes to beat a whole wave or something.
Ok, il n'y a pas de timer par manche au passage, ça vous pouvez prendre le temps que vous voulez.
Got it. Okay. And again, once the ADU is gone, that's it.
Ils sont déjà à 38 minutes. À 38 minutes, ils sont à la vague. Ils sont vague combien à 31?
Yeah.
Ah, ils vont pas vite là.
There's like a and B and a C, nothing like that. Okay. And again, you're only defending its one ADU that kind of will transition.
Only the current ADU. It will move with you.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. Also, to chat, I see you asking for information on the loot to show us what weapons are on the way. Tune in next week. We'll have plenty for you. I can promise you that.
You know, Shaxx is, if you go into the lore, Shaxx is working with some folks, some characters from the past.
That's right, yeah.
And also opening up his private reserve for our use.
Yeah.
So
is this something Shaxx has been sitting on for a while, or has he been working on this behind the scenes?
Well, there've been
Ah ouais, là,
some-
s'il meurt, je
some
crois que c'est fini, ouais.
weapons
S'ils meurent tous les trois en même temps, c'est fini.
Yeah.
Après, est-ce que ça remet du coup au début de la manche 32 ou ça quitte l'activité, ça on sait pas.
Exactly. And if it's dangerous, now's the time to bust it out.
Bac 50, tu prends Sabaton plein front, tu comprends rien. On va voir, ils vont peut-être aller jusqu'au bout, je sais pas.
Nothing short of generous, I'll say. Have you improved ability regeneration right now, or are you just that good?
That's what, I feel like you're not hearing me. I'm that guy.
You have mentioned that once or twice, actually. I don't know.
Ah, il a droppé une ressource, je sais pas ce que c'est.
Sometimes I will, not even sometimes, oftentimes I get off work and immediately I'm like, okay.
I think there was
That
a
was on
there,
me.
Noah, by the way, and I'm not sure if you saw that.
But I immediately get on and play. I do raids.
Ils vont mourir tous les
I
trois.
mean, I've been doing a lot of coil
No.
recently.
Yeah,
My Rosaraga.
my dad and I end up playing this game a lot, and so basically every single day after work, it's just like us texting each other, being like, "Hey, so when are you hopping on? When are you done with dinner?"
That's fun.
I imagine we'll probably more so do the easy modes, but I've got my Nightfall crew I'm sure I could dive in here with. Although honestly, I think at this point he's more loot paid, my dad, than any of us, so I think he'd have no problem diving in here.
That's awesome to hear. That's what Destiny is all about, right?
Yeah, it's
Bringing
a lot of
people
fun.
together.
Et salut, elle Voturex. De quoi, son exotique, soit son arme ou l'équipement? Son pistolet abyssal, bah, c'est celui du donjon ruine de la guerrière. Le ligne intérêt, je crois, il s'appelle en français. Oh, c'est pas grave, ça c'est pas grave. Et salut Woz, comment ça va?
Thank you, Nikki Knight, for that question as well.
Oh, it's time. I can make
Ah.
super.
Donc là, il a le petit temps là pour améliorer.
Nice.
Vas-y, améliore.
I was on 5,000.
Okay.
Oh, I was too late.
Scrapped for cash.
Scrapped for cash.
You got on the
narrative
team,
department.
Honestly, that is, I want to say obnoxiously good. It's always like, man,
We appreciate that.
These guys are just stealing our job. Want to write tweets? No. All right. This is remaining intense. And again, we're still
À tout moment, on aura Javelot 4 avec les vagues de mob. Non, c'est la map est trop petite. Ah, il commence à prendre tarif en vrai, à la manche 30. Il y a quand même un gap. Et là, c'est la version normale.
You know it's getting harder when Noah stops flexing.
Et du coup, ça c'est la version normale, et après la version maîtrise, bah je pense manche 34, ça va tabasser. Hein. C'est pour ça il dit ouais la version maîtrise en solo c'est chaud.
Like you really got to keep your comms crisp with your team. You got to make sure that you're really aligning. Not even necessarily your champion mods, but maybe sending your scrap to one part to really go ahead and stymie the bad guys there, so you can focus your attention, your abilities, your supers on another lane.
Après là, il tryhard pas, il est plus concentré sur le commentary que.
How are you guys going about even changing these maps? It looks like you guys have changed the architecture in some pretty significant ways.
Faut se mettre à sa place aussi, hein. C'est facile de dire qu'il est éclaté.
For the enemies to kind of like attack the ADU from, and they give you like these fronts that you have to divide your attention across the team. So you really have to be like, oh, they're coming from the left, they're coming from the right. You take this way, I take that way. And like a lot of times in these maps, they're great for PvP. But they didn't have the lanes we needed, and the artists and the designers working together like, oh, like what if like the pyramids just like evaporated this building right here. And
it's like, great, let's do it.
And that really, so we had to open up some channels in here, and like that, you know, we got the great, you know, fictional context where we can be like, no, it's Colossus Forces, it's not, you know, it's not Todd.
All right, and also too, I'm getting some word.
Donc manche 36, donc là il a la petite vague bonus là pour avoir des scraps.
You must return from your throne world.
I think I performed pretty well.
I'll be the first to agree with you, especially because I don't want to have to face you down in this activity. I want your help, honestly. When
we'll just 1v1 in Crucible sometime.
Yeah, and also too is I think I think we can say that, but this is going to
happen. Il fait une pause là?
Maybe won't say where, but this isn't the only location that players are going to have a slot available to them. Yeah, there will be more than that, obviously. Noah, welcome back from the throne world. It's good to see you.
I got a lot of tithes You know, I feel like Eris and I are comparable right now.
So you're going to turn into a hive? Never mind. I don't want to attempt turning into a hive god. That's fine. We'll leave that for your
That's
own
the next
adventures.
expansion.
Obviously, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. But no, Noah, thank you very much for taking us through that.
Thanks
and
for having me.
of course, for everyone here in Twitch chat, thank you for joining us. But before we go ahead and head on out, you know, this is just kind of the first look at what's to come in Destiny 2 Into the Light. Again, as a reminder, we're going to be doing 3 streams showing up all of this content that's going to be coming out, available to all players. And of course, before we go ahead and head off, you know, Tom,
Ah, il y a la pop de Cade aussi en haut à droite, j'avais pas vu.
Tom, we'll start with you. When Onslaught releases,
Putain, j'aimerais bien avoir le même setup
What are you
là.
most looking forward to?
I really want to see what players do with the defenses. I want to see like
Yeah.
what their strategies are. I know Noah's got his strategies. I've got mine. Maybe mine are a little less developed than his. And just to be able to like see. Also, it's a great time to get back in and play. It's going to be a great time to play Destiny. It's going to be like new activities, tons of rewards. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be hopping in with me and my sons.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah. Jerome, as someone who's gone ahead and helped craft this story, to bring this to life, obviously, to make sure it fits into the Destiny universe so well, what are you most looking forward to when this releases on April 9th?
First of all, people getting absolutely hyped out of their minds for the final shape, and I want to see what builds arise out of this. It's a kind of a different strategic calculus than we've seen before, so I want to see how the players innovate and deal with this new challenge.
Strategic calculus. I'm going to file that one away. That's the narrative team, everyone. Geez, just making us all look bad. And of course, Noah, you know, you've helped brick by brick put this together, this brand new activity. You know, as someone who's obviously spent a ton of time playing it in addition to developing it, you know, when it gets out into the wild, when you've got the chance to play it with your friends, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just getting my reps in, seeing how far we can get.
Bon
especially
Aponix.
on Legend, get extra rewards, have extra difficulty, just have fun with friends and trying to see like Jerome was saying, like what builds arise, like what cool stories come
Tu
out of
dénonces,
playing
Rose, tu
things like
dénonces
this.
là.
Like we saw, you can have a big tormentor show up and like all these different things. Those little emergent moments are what really makes Onslaught special at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of what the team and everyone has done. Like I'm a very small part of a larger team. Teams are way better than heroes.
Yeah.
And
You're here.
you know, everyone has done such a great job building Onslaught and just curating stuff for Into the Light. I'm so excited for what's going to show up in these next live streams.
Awesome. Yeah, and thank you guys all three for being here today to represent the team and help us kind of
Ouais,
show
merci
this
beaucoup,
first
Mobius.
glimpse at Into
Merci
the Light to all
beaucoup.
the players out there. Obviously, it's pretty great to have you guys here, bright and early in the morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yep. All right,
Je
everyone.
crois c'est
Well, I
fini.
believe that's it from us here at Bungie HQ. As a quick reminder, again, we'll be
Ok,
back
c'est
next
fini, les
week
gars,
at
c'est
the
fini.
same Bungie time, same Bungie place to show you some
Donc,
even more
rendez-vous, les gars,
content
semaine
about
prochaine,
In
même
Flight,
heure.
including some returning Guardian favorite weapons, which you may have gotten a glimpse of today, a brand new look at an all-new social space as well that you can take your fire team down to, and even more information about upcoming rewards. Before we obviously send it off, I want to again thank our guests here for joining us today, to the entire Destiny development team who behind the scenes right now
Ok,
is
c'est
working
fini.
on this content, bringing it to life for all of us. Thank you all so much for your hard work. To Clayton and Ashley, our play testers in the back who went ahead and helped fill out the fire team. Getting some waves, there we go. Thank you very much. To the amazing team of producers who are here putting on the show, thank you all so much. Genuinely, it's amazing to have all of your assistants. They have the distinct difficulty of making me look good on camera, so believe me, their work is cut out for them. And to our team of moderators in chat, you're the real heroes. Thank you so
C'est
much for
fini,
your
les gars.
time.
C'est fini.
But in the meantime, again, reminder, we'll be back next week at the same time and place to show you even more content. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other,
Ouais.
and we'll see you all Starside.
Ah, et du coup, on n'a même pas vu la manche 50. On verra ça sûrement semaine prochaine, les gars. J'ai peur que la semaine prochaine, ils vont encore nous parler de... Ils vont encore nous parler de cette activité-là. Les vagues, là. Bon, les gars, vous en pensez quoi? En vrai, sans déconner les gars, je vais pas le faire 50 fois le truc. Hein. Bon, apparemment si vous faites la version maîtrise, vous avez des loots supplémentaires. Du coup, bon, si jamais vous voulez farmer les armes, bah je pense que le mieux peut-être serait de le faire en maîtrise. Après, avoir le temps que ça prend en maîtrise, parce que si c'est par exemple 2 fois plus long qu'une version normale, bon, on verra.
I don't wanna cry.